7月下半，3伏夏日已至，联赛争夺也正式进入下半场白热化阶段。老牌队伍依然艰难前行，一切胜利的可能性都值得他们去放手一搏。强队质检器坐镇主场，欲再次上演以下课上的精彩戏码。银河战舰跌跌撞撞，夏天航线的终点究竟会是何方？老冤家京城再聚首，新阵对决，谁的默契能笑到最后？撞墙恢复之路固然漫长，瓶颈突破之旅也更显艰辛。双王相争必有一败，谁将领跑常规赛铁王座的争夺？追逐不止，超越常在。LPL 的最大魅力莫过于此。
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We will be skipping our final game of DMO and JDG to bring you right into Shanghai, into the Hongqiao Arena, where FPX and IG await. And this is what we thought was going to be the Spring 2019 Grand Final. This is what we thought would be FPX cleaning up JDG's spree, IG beating TOP, and moving straight in as we look at some cool Pokemon cupcakes and Tian signing some autographs. That's what this is. This is a show match of two exceptionally talented teams. And a team like IG who are trying to defeat this FPX who are on a roll. Invictus Gaming have come back, they've reformed, they've recharged. And we're looking for Coach Karam to put in that extra bit of effort to pull this team together and start getting bigger wins on the board. We're worried about them. We're wondering what's happening to Invictus Gaming and how they're going to go running into FPX. My name's Hysterix. This is Preacher. Welcome you back to the match of the week. That is not match of the week, but it feels pretty close.
We can't even say it's match of the weekend because we just had it on Saturday. So maybe match of the day. This is definitely a very hype one between IG and FPX. I mean, before you came into this split, you would have said this is one of the best games that we would have had throughout the entire event. So yeah, we're definitely looking forward to coming into it.
I talked about their performance. I talked about how FPX, they finished first seed. Coming out of spring, they're setting themselves up for first seed once again.
Of course, going flawless, but this is one of the biggest road bumps for themselves. Of course, IG recently been on a little bit of a slump, but I like how you actually mentioned Coach Kim inside of that
new Coach Kim,
yeah, of course, right, the new Coach Kim Karam, right?
Yeah.
Because a lot of the players have actually said that he is mostly in for discipline, and that is the one thing that this team looks like they need the most. Of course, IG haven't changed any of the core members since they became world champion, but they have been looking much more scrappy, so that is what they need to work on.
This is the third series. They'll be coming back after Rift Rivals with the core roster as well. But before we get into Invictus Gaming, let's go into the specific matchups of Doinb versus Rookie. Two great mid laners, two of the best in the LPL, and they've got a lot to show for it.
Of course, both of them seasoned veterans of the league, coming over from Korea in their very early days, but you wouldn't even recognize either of them as Korean players because they've just become so familiar with the LPL.
You would
have, right? Whenever you think about the LPL, you think about these two, and it's because they've been so dominant in the mid lane. Now, they have two different playstyles. Of course, Rookie likes to take over his lane, whereas Doinb likes to take over the rest of the map, but we'll get into that a little bit later.
No, we'll get into it now, Preacher. You brought me there. I'm going to take you all the rest of the way. Because FPX, you mentioned, it's the bottom lane dive. It's the setup here for LWX and Chris.
No surprise. Doinb on the Renekton immediately coming to the bottom lane to help out the rest of his team. Time and time again, they always rotate him, and it's the wonderful avenue that we constantly see. It has to do with warding, but every single time he comes down, it's always a surprise.
And look, there's three different types here. There's the standard bottom lane gank, there's the bottom lane dive under turret, and there's the bottom lane counter gank. We're seeing here from Doinb and from Tian. They're very creative, I'll say. And the fact that FPX continue to play this style and not many teams know how to play against it is where their strength comes from. But we talked about the mid laners and their tenure here in the LPL. Of course, Rookie has been part of IG for so darn long, but Doinb from QG Reapers to Rogue Warriors. Of course, there's the newbie Young name change there at one point. At the end, towards now FPX.
Of course, both of these two mid laners seasoned in their games and also in their win rates. Keep in mind, these win rates even persist through when they were on teams that were not ready for the playoffs either. So the fact that they can keep it so consistently high is proof of their success.
And look, I will actually just mention JDG. I missed out there for Doinb, but it's the amount of teams, the teams that Doinb has strengthened through his core play, and the fact that Rookie is constantly that core member of Invictus Gaming, and that's why these two mid laners, for their time in the LPL, we can put them at the top, and there's no doubt that they sit there strong.
Yeah, and we really have to see how they play against each other, because once again, it's not necessarily going to be the 1v1. If it was just the 1v1 all the time, the Rookie would be in heaven. That's what he likes to do. You saw his second most picked champion that he's really known for is LeBlanc, but unfortunately, Doinb doesn't like to sit still. He likes to go around, yeah, that actually bridges really nicely into one of the deficits that IG have. Of course, in the bottom lane, they've always played it as a weak side of the map. So the fact that Doinb likes to exploit bot and IG's bottom lane is weak, that is a matchup made in heaven for him.
I mean, for JackeyLove and Baolan, it'll come down to the experience and the play that they are able to seek out in that bottom lane. You're right. I would like to come back to the champion pool for the two mid laners. It's very different here. There is a lot of, like, you know, Renekton, Kled mid. Of course, I think at one point, you know, we've even seen like Morgana. There's a lot of champions for Doinb. While Rookie, it's still the LeBlanc, as you mentioned. It's still the standardized picks. That's why I expect to see something like an Azir out of him today.
And the more important thing is that they've actually opted in for the Sylas. Now, Sylas has obviously been shifted from the lanes into the jungle, so a huge gaping hole has actually been left inside of their champion picks. But of course, like you just mentioned, and like we saw in the previous series, Azir and Corki, they've come to fill it. Yeah,
they absolutely have. But remember, it's not just about Doinb in today's matchup. It's about FPX as a unit. IG in 2018 were on that run, the 18-1. But it was stopped by RNG. Here, FPX, they're ready for the 15-0. They're currently 8-0, first place, and IG stand in their way.
Of course, they've got IG in their sights. And look, I'm going to say it that it's actually a little bit scary for IG, because they've shown that they can dominate the teams that are traditionally lower than them on the table, but they haven't been performing against teams higher than them. Now, the 8-0 FPX come to challenge them. That could definitely be a thorn in their side. They've become a little bit less disciplined since their time as world champions, so that could work against them.
Yeah, that's very true, Preacher. And remember, this matchup happened, of course, in spring with the same rosters. It was a 2-1 to FPX, and that was the series where IG pulled out these crazy picks like the Kane jungle for Ning, TheShy on Darius, of course, Cassiopeia for JackeyLove down the bottom lane. So it was a very exciting series, but one that ended with FPX smacking down IG.
So if we're going to be talking about the champion distribution for IG, nothing's changed in that sense. I mean, 11 unique champions for TheShy and 14 unique champions for Ning in this split alone for IG. You can't pin them down in terms of what they actually wanted in pick ban.
No, you really can't. That's why getting into this series, pick ban's going to be pretty big, and there's a lot between Rookie and Doinb. A bit of a historical matchup for the players, and running into each other constantly here in the LPL. They've become faces, and now their faces shall appear. Let's go for FPX in the top lane. It's GimGoon, Tian in the jungle, Doinb the mid lane, LWX and Crisp your bottom lane with Coach Warhorse, who you'll remember from the LMS from last year.
Yeah, and I like to see LWX and also Crisp walking onto this table. I mean, they are, you can't necessarily gank bottom lane without looking at your bottom lane and what they can do. And this duo has been proving time and time again, they can play passive all the way until multiple members arrive, and then they turn on the heat and immediately engage.
The longest standing bottom lane in the world here. That's what LWX and Crisp have under their belt as we go over to Invictus Gaming. In the top lane, TheShy will be starting today, ladies and gentlemen. Ning in the jungle, Rookie mid. It's JackeyLove and Baolan as the bottom lane with Coach Karam coming in behind.
Here it is, the man himself. Bring in some discipline for your team. Now, I will say that watching Ning recently, of course, we saw the departure of, LXG from RNG. However, his spirit lives on in Ning, because all of a sudden, Ning's become this jungler who is either live or die by him. Either he makes the plays that immediately wins you the game for the first minute, or he makes the ones that lose it.
It comes down to the inconsistencies we talked about with Ning. How Ning, this split, has been very back and forth, and we've been wondering what's going on. I said the same thing about Rookie, but I'm hoping that this game we get to see the best of them, that IG can play up to the level of FPX, considering this is the team I'd look to defeat the team that's on a steamroll.
They've definitely tightened it up ever since Rift Rivals. I mean, I think that really kicked them into gear. It looks as if they're not really taking these scrappy fights, especially in the enemy jungle without any vision. That was really what was keeping Ning from activating the rest of his team. So getting rid of that, getting rid of the needless aggression without any vision, that's what I like to see coming out from IG. But once again, when we talk about the vision game, they need to be very strong on it today, because if they ever let one patch through for Doinb, then he's going to be exploiting it going top and bottom.
I know you're talking about IG's vision, and I've got some stats to go along with this. Very low ward clearance, actually the lowest in the league at the moment. And the wards per minute below average too. Is we're just showing all the highlights because this is from summer, or spring, excuse me. This is how the series played out.
Yeah, and it's really a back and forth. So you couldn't tell which team was going to win until the Nexus actually exploded in the very last team fight, because FPX, while they were playing towards their side lanes, IG was really taking it to them. Let's see if they've learned the lesson and they continue to play in that style, or if they go for more of their own and allow that to slip through.
If we recap on this series, it was playing the standard FPX style. Doinb and Tian, strong mid 2v2, and GimGoon playing towards the weak side of the map became such a big element in these fights. And IG, like I said, they got slaughtered at one point because FPX whole-handedly took control, and IG were left without a challenge.
And whenever you see it, it's always crisp, going for the hard engagements. You would have to expect that it comes out from this game as well. Nautilus going to be a very heavy priority onto him. So all of these things are instigated by the fact that they know that they have more members, and they immediately pull the trigger.
Also, the scaling came into effect as well, I should say, at this point.
Oh, yeah.
But it was this final fight, as last time it was great, and Doinb,
Look
I
at that.
remember my words with this preacher.
That is the face of a victor.
He's on top of the world. That's what I said. He felt it, and we saw the best of Doinb. That's why the history comes up once again, to look at these players and their tenure in the LPL.
Doinb is such an emotional player, and if he saw that replay himself, then he'll know that he wants to reach for that glory once again. Against IG, this is arguably one of the times in which IG really needs to step up, so FPX are looking strong.
They really are. And you get to see Doinb's hair color change as well as Rookie's here, so that's how long it's been.
I'm a fan of Dark Doinb.
I can't believe that Rookie used to have red hair.
Yeah.
You know,
when he first arrived.
I wasn't around in 2015. That's when I started casting back in Oceania.
He first arrived when he was right before he was on KT Arrows, right after, I should say.
The KT Arrows, KT Bullets days, right?
Yeah, exactly,
I mean, wow.
from the LCK, and he came over with red hair. We were like, who's this import? He doesn't really have a history behind him.
You know,
man, he has a history now. Take a look at that.
I'm sure when he started playing well, they made the joke of, oh, he's hot-headed, you know, all that kind of stuff. And the same could be said about Doinb. If you don't know Doinb by now, I have to say you haven't been paying attention to competitive League of Legends. The most out there, the most explosive player, and Doinb the most creative as well. He's the person in 2018 Rift Rivals that kept the LPL alive and sent them to the winning game with RNG in the final. Doinb is the person you can rely on, and that's how FPX have been playing around him.
Yeah, last year, our biggest criticism of him was the fact that he lacked a lot of international experience.
Yes.
But now that he's done that and not only got the experience but propelled the LPL forward, he is ready to go.
He does have a bit more Preacher, but he doesn't have enough, I feel. The amount he deserves, and I'm talking about Worlds. That's coming up. That's where FPX are heading. That's the trajectory right now. An 8-0 team, you're expecting, well, look, they win this series, I'm going to say this out, they definitely make playoffs at this point. There would be a big surprise if FPX do not hit that mark. And a lot of people pitting them as the team that will represent the LPL as first or second seed going to Worlds.
That was not a hot take, Asterix. I mean, that one's very evident from 8-0 being 9-0 if they win the series today.
I mean, a hot take right now is IG. Where are they going to sit? They should make playoffs, yes, but whereabouts? Because at this time, they went 2-1 over Vici, 2-1 over OMG. They have dropped all games that have been won. They've all gone to Game 3. IG have never won a 2-0 here in summer. This is where they need to start as we get into pick ban for Game 1 of FPX IG.
Look at that. That's already a Pantheon taken off. Don't want to deal with that immediately. I mean, the fact that they're respecting these odd pocket picks immediately from the get-go as opposed to the standard meta bans means that they've definitely done their research.
0% win rate. I love that little fact. Yagao pulled it out and got a genius with it. But we'll see the Pantheon ban. The Nautilus follows before it. Nico there. Jace is a must ban against IG. In fact, it's the highest ban against Invictus Gaming in the LPL.
And it simply makes sense because TheShy has a 60% win rate on that Nico. Usually when he can't get his hands on that, he defaults to something like the Kennen as well. I love this because Rookie has already proven himself on the Kiana. And when you go against such a heavy assassin in the mid lane, numbers are all that counts.
Which means that the Yuumi left open is a high priority. Chris plays it too. Great success, and Baolan does the same. So IG snagged that one away, but let's see what the counter picks are, or the first couple of picks on red side.
Good champion, but the fact that you pick it up first allows Aatrox to be picked over on the other side. Of course, you can also pick up your jungle as Sejuani and Sylas we've already seen very strong.
Yep.
Yeah. This is pretty much guaranteed to be in the jungle, but just keep in mind that both these two mid lanes do still play it.
Yeah, Sylas is a good one there, Preacher. Of course, for FPX, they play around their flexes, so you're expecting Tian to take that into the jungle, but you never know. It was GimGoon's most played. It may receive some nerfs, but the Sylas is still an optimal route. Let's see where we go next, because, yep, Chris loves the other Enchantress support, or rather the Spell Mage support.
So you'd have to imagine that ADCs are hot on both of these two teams' minds. Sivir is the strongest one in the LPL just because they want the wave clear.
Not anymore since JackeyLove.
Doesn't even say it to us. They want the early aggression. They want the poke from both the Q in the Lucian and the Yuumi, and immediately locked in. That wasn't even second.
And in the LPL, we've started to love the Taliyah mid lane. It's become ever so popular, and you can see the priority in the first pick and ban phase. Looks like we could see an Azir, and for someone like Doinb, that would be interesting, but you know it's not going to be the case. It should be the Caitlyn Lux. A big kill lane set up here for LWX and Crisp.
And not just the kill lane, but also the push lane. You'd have to imagine that FPX are going to put a lot of priority, funnily enough, onto the bottom side of the map to make sure that they can bust down the turret plating and then immediately rotate while plates are still available top.
We're already set up for our win condition, right? The way FPX play around that bottom side, a strong lane that can be dove and dove again. How does that get cemented better for FPX? Well, no Kled for you, Doinb. That would just be too much.
Yeah, I mean, Kled still hasn't received the buff that he gets next patch, but still a very good Doinb champion, so taking that off.
Yeah.
Another good one is, of course, Karma. Now, we've seen most teams not opt for the Karma. However, they still look for, I mean, it's banned away in the first rotation, so they naturally don't turn their eyes towards it.
You're right, though. It has to be banned against FPX. So there's been some good mid lane bans already from the side of IG. The Pantheon was a speciality we saw over at Rift Rivals in game number 3 against Griffin, which, funnily enough, Doinb kept us in Rift Rivals again. But to no further success as IG looking towards the Aatrox, which could have been flexed around. That's a lot of priority, considering we have 5 mid lane bans from IG, because Doinb plays Nautilus mid too.
Yeah, I wouldn't even be surprised if at this point IG prioritized the Kennen just because that's what they've always gone for. But yeah, I was interested to see what the potential mind games would have been, and instead they go for the top lane for FPX immediately.
Nico's not open, so you mentioned the Kennen there. Into the GP matchup, the range can be pretty big. TheShy in the past has played on hit Kennen as well. So let's see what direction we go to. Of course, we need a jungler still. Ning with the Rek'Sai hover. Now, I take bigger merit into this, but no, I don't. I look at the Renekton instead. Hello.
Yeah, and this isn't guaranteed because Ning can still potentially take the Taliyah into the jungle, so it still is up to the last pick to see where everything is cemented.
That's true. We'll find out now, though. Taliyah most often in the mid lane. So, Rek'Sai, yeah. I was surprised. I was like, well, this works fine. A very strong mid 2v2. The level 3 mark is just big here for Rookie and Ning. And the Rek'Sai would make it so.
The battle lines have never been clearer. Obviously, bottom side priority for FPX, but now top side priority for IG because they want the Renekton to completely destroy the Gangplank. With the Rek'Sai as well, you could stop the Sylas from getting in there, and you can also gank when the timing is optimal.
Is this going to work? Into the Taliyah, it would definitely destroy Rookie and could actually burn him out. But for Doinb, 10 champions picked up this split. He's going to stick to the one he knows the best. His Ryze is legendary.
It's good for the roam as well. His ultimate will always be able to get him into the bottom lane. Now, with the Gangplank ultimate, I wouldn't even count out the fact that as soon as he hits level 6, everybody should just be stacking down the bottom side. If you could read that in the composition as well, IG should surely, at the very least, know to bring some support.
It's an FPX comp, right? Yeah. They've set themselves up globally from the top side. They've set FPX and Tian to move to the bottom side because that is the shoving wave here from LWX and Chris. But I don't think I've seen a team composition quite like it. where FPX continue to do the same thing well, and that's exactly what we stated in the bottom lane.
Just don't forget that the Taliyah matchup into the Ryze, the Taliyah will always be able to permanently shove, so not only will Ryze be a little bit down in CS because it's hard for him to last hit under turret very early in the game, but he'll always be back on uneven time.
That's true, but remember, against minions, Taliyah doesn't do that much damage early, and Ryze, technically a bit more damage into his kit now after the Rune Prison got nerfed, after the Realm Warp at level 1 has the same fixed distance. We've got more wave clear on the Ryze, and he should be able to match this one. So we're going to keep an eye on who gets out of lane first and who's able to roam to that bottom side
and we've talked about it over and over, but if Doinb decides to visit bot, then the one person to keep your eyes on is actually Crisp, because he needs to be the one to hit the double bind.
Yep.
If he can do that, everything else is just set up like Dominus.
Yeah, you're right. The luck's crucial here in this engage. And remember, if that binding lands, then it followed up by a trap, followed up by death. That's literally it.
That's it. With the Rune Prison, in case you're tanky for whatever reason.
To slow them down. Yeah. Rune Prison right now is like hitting someone with a wet fish, right?
He's just begging them, like, hey, can you please not leave?
Yeah, just stop it, right? Doinb, where does he go first? I'll answer for you, folks, once again. I've said it time and time again. The bottom lane's under fire. FPX have built themselves up a them composition. We go into game 1 against IG, seeing if FPX can stay undefeated here in the LPL summer, or if IG are the kryptonite to finally take them down.
Oh, this is it, Hysterics, just like game number 1, and they can see JackeyLove.
Again, JackeyLove. Oh, but he spots out Tian first. They don't know he's there.
There is, of course, the Lux available, so keep on watching because the flash binding is on the tables.
JackeyLove and Rookie are not going to go anywhere near this. So FPX tried something, but IG, timing was on their side.
All right, and while we're looking at IG right now, an important thing to also note is that Rookie's pick of the Taliyah, as soon as he hits level 6 in tandem with Doinb's Ryze, will also be able to match him in rotating to the bottom lane with the Weaver's Wall. So even better in terms of utility because you could block off FPX.
Oh god, this has to be the game. The two quickest teams in the LPL fighting head-to-head. Of course there's going to be blood early.
Look at this though, Rookie and Doinb. Doinb, do something!
He starts Rune Prison, he takes half his health. Goodbye to your lane, sir.
Yeah. You have to say that Doinb got hard shoved in that one before the minions even got there. It's going to be a nightmare for him to last hit under turret. Expect a lot of CS deficits and also uneven times.
At least he gets some of the trade back. I talked about the damage potential, and there's more coming out of the Ryze these days, but also has himself Ravenous Hunter. So that means with alongside Taste of Blood that Doinb should have a bit of extra sustain in this lane. He had to burn a lot of pots early, so right now we'll have to tune back in as a couple of levels go by.
It's only great healing once you get the actual kills for the permanent heal, but until he gets to that point, yeah, he's still going to be chunked out by the Taliyah in the mid lane.
That's very true, Gracious. So we'll have to see how the engage happens. So JackeyLove just walks into that one. You can watch his POV over in Doyu and how he can get hurt even more at this point.
Yeah, this is not a great matchup, but the one thing that the Lucian is good at when he's put into the Caitlyn is he can always force her to go back before her BF item spike. If you can do that to a Caitlyn, then you can actually start playing around the bottom side with your team. So we'll have to wait and watch for JackeyLove to see if he actually exploits that timing.
You're talking about Rookie getting the shove in the mid lane, though, and mid lane is where the focus needs to be because that's how they get access to the bottom side. There's an early shove there from the Taliyah, so it turns out that Doinb now hitting level 3. It's still better for Rookie here, and he's got a full mana bar to play with. Creature, I just want to say something first, though. There was a really cool interaction that I never thought about where Renekton gets Cull the Meek, presses W, of course, onto Gangplank's barrel. That'll count as 2 HP bars.
Yeah, of course.
So that means that, you know, GP, it's going to be harder in the early game for him to get his barrels off, but Ning up towards the top side is going to be smiting down the red buff. Tian getting counter jungled here early by IG.
Hysterics, this is the one criticism that I had for IG, invading so early on without any vision, but they clearly know that Doinb can't join because he's so low on mana, even if he did join, nothing would happen. So stealing it away.
Mid priority. That means only good news here now for IG. The Rek'Sai picking up red buff has a CS advantage, but bottom lane still getting shoved in, and this for FPX is their winning lane. But if IG can win across the map, then it doesn't matter.
Yeah, and we were talking about the level 6 roam, and it sounds very good in theory, but level 6 actually takes a very long time, by which time you can clearly see that IG solo laners, they're taking it, and once again, we see the return.
Yeah, Rookie's up here. Orange needs to be used at some
Shove.
point. Rookie's coming in with a shove, dodged away by GimGoon. Gets the heal up. He's taken on the fight. GimGoon 1v3. He flashes, but that is a madman if I've ever seen one.
No way. Once he's left to his own island, he actually outplays the 1v3. So much time and resources burned by IG without even picking up a kill.
Props to TheShy for not flashing, but boy, was that close. GimGoon getting forced out, but Tian is now here. And Ning wants to 2v2.
TheShy's flash is more important than Rookie's heal, but they're going.
GimGoon sets himself up for the passive once again. Ning underneath her. What are you doing there? FPX get first blood, and now TheShy's left out. Flash away from Tian as a seismic shot from Rookie. They're trying to compensate, but FPX still with the first kill on the board.
Get out of there. And that was just so telegraphed. Tian had about a whole minute to walk up to the top side, and when they go for the return dive, didn't work out at all, and Ning overstaying just gets killed.
Just walking around, or burrowing around, I should say. I'm like, what's the move going to be? And he didn't make one. He didn't get to.
He couldn't even use his passive W in order to knock people up, because if he did, he would have done damage and the turret would have killed him. So it was very well played by FPX to know exactly where he can't fight and kill him then.
I think we get to get another look at that one, because I want to find out why Ning just didn't make the move in the end.
Yep, he goes way too far forward, doesn't actually respect Tian.
Stunned.
Can't use W because then he'll die.
Yeah,
Dies anyway.
Dies anyway. Well said, Brady. The best analysis I've ever heard, actually.
There it is.
Okay, first blood, and wow, GimGoon. We come back to heavy trades from TheShy. Shy was able to go back and get a double longsword here in this lane, and early damage definitely favoring him.
Yeah, so he's always going to be able to shove out the GP. Killing him is a whole different story, unless the level 6 is aided by Ning once again, which is a little bit risky given what he did in the very first part of the game. But nonetheless, you would always have to expect that TheShy would try to use his TP time, which is now on cooldown because he got back to lane.
I mean, GimGoon used his as well, Preacher,
Yeah.
so TheShy is getting free turret plating here with no cannon barrage up to reset the wave. TheShy is so far ahead in this lane already, and even with the gank, even with Tian getting first blood, that doesn't affect the GP. So the lane goes on, and TheShy is taking control of this game.
Well, it's a natural priority. You'd have to expect that the Renekton would always be able to 1v1 the Gangplank early on without even a sheen to his name, now finally coming back with that item. But now that level 6s have been hit, especially by Doinb and Rookie, keep your eyes on bottom lane. I don't think I could look anywhere else.
Yeah, it's bottom versus top this game, it feels, as FPX, LWX, and Crisp have 20 CS in their advantage. JackeyLove used TP, but not near the turret. He didn't want to stand anywhere near them.
And one of the things that we needed to watch out for was whether LWX was going to be denied the BF first back. Actually got it, so this means that this is going to be almost a free lane for him. Obviously, he needs to execute it correctly, but he's going to have the priority, and you can already see that reflected in the turret platings.
And it will depend, of course, as we talked about in Champs League, on Doinb and Tian being able to get down there, because Ning's game plan was to help TheShy on the top side and get him ahead. He visited there once, disappeared from the plane of existence on Summoner's Rift, and now FPX moving towards the bottom side. They're going to ignore it, and GimGoon's going to have to play weak side.
Yeah, would you believe Doinb is already keeping his eyes on both bot and his blue, so he has a clear avenue for where he wants to go. There is a control ward in the tri-bush, so he can't go that deep, and also Rookie can respond with his weave as well.
Go GimGoon, get it. Okay, I think he did. Tian actually up here now, though, but TheShy, with able to push out the top lane, was able to put a ward in this brush. Tian will now spot it out. He knows he spotted it himself. But look at where Ning's moving. Up towards the top side with 6 available.
He has the timing on this red buff. Now he just wants to wait patiently. Once again, Rookie is over here. He can't collapse down onto bot, but he can go top if he wants to.
Tian knows who spotted out. He got the end of the lens towards that ward, so that means he saw it as Yuumi! Baolan! Yeah, you need to get back onto JackeyLove, but even now, LWX in a great position with Chris. He flashes, finds, cannon barrage is there. Chris dies, though, but that means double kill for LWX. We look towards the top side, and yes, give me more blood. Rookie destroys GimGoon.
Both of the sides that favor these teams come out ahead. So the bottom lane of LWX and Chris get that double kill. However, on top side, the dive finally works out because they know where the jungler is, and now they're going to race to these turrets.
And you take this trade, especially through just the mid lane alone, Preacher, because Rookie goes up, gets the kill while sacrificing his CS. Worthy trade. Doinb now looking to push this one out and maybe affect one of the other lanes, because you talked about the race top versus bottom. Well, 3 plates taken there for the side lanes.
Yeah, and all in all, after everything's done, LWX is actually going to have such a great time once he goes back. This is very close.
That's an IE,
Yeah, that's very close to an IE. If he doesn't, then he has the 2 AD items and the Berserker's Greaves, which is also very difficult to play against. But that was all instigated by Crisp. We're actually going to watch the top side because we didn't see the whole thing. Ning's ultimate being stolen throughout this engage means that Tian can always engage onto the back of this, but by the time that he even finds a good window onto Renekton, not a great time, so he opts not to.
Great time flash from TheShy as well. He was under the turret, ready to take that second shot, and flashed out just as the window hit. But FPX, they have the gold lead in this game by 1,000. And like we talked about, it's because of the bottom lane, also because of mid, because Doinb now up 20 CS. And GimGoon naturally gets gold just off the minions, even being behind 25.
This is what feels bad, Bill, for TheShy, because he's gone for the early executioner's calling. He doesn't actually want GimGoon to heal from the Grasp of the Undying or his oranges, but it means that he's going to actually not have enough damage to straight out 100-0 the Gangplank normally.
Oh yeah, but maybe right now it's okay. As GimGoon walks into him, there's only a Sheen here. TheShy, yeah, Crocodile presses W.
Doesn't use it, though. That was a little bit awkward to see, but still, yeah, it's not working towards his favor.
That was a bit disrespectful.
Yeah, I was going to say that TheShy wants to push his limits and actually get AD in order to kill this lane opponent, but instead going for the executioners. Well, we're seeing the effects.
We can talk about what this does, though, Preacher, and towards the Gangplank, the healing negated, of course. That's why we see it in the lane, but the Sylas Kingslayer as well, remember. Yep. What else do we have? The Ravenous Hunter Ryze. We look towards the top side.
Oh!
There's the healing negated. GimGoon get in orange and does nothing.
Wait a second.
TheShy almost dies, but spins and wins and solo kill. That's what you want to see out of the top lane.
And he knows his windows perfectly. He knows the exact time that GP was actually going to use his W, forces him to use it while he actually has the healing reduction. And he picks up the kill.
And now Ning towards the bottom side. This is the winning lane for FPX. This is the lane that is holding out the gold lead here. Tian's down here with Doinb, but Ning not able to strike. Dragon will go down, and Crisp and LWX safe for another day.
It's actually quite awkward that we've seen Doinb hold on to his ultimate so long, not even choosing to go for the side lanes, but now they have to really keep this at the forefront because Ning is here.
Still here. He's been so patient. This is such a Ning thing to do. Ning will wait that minute or two for a gank, and if it pays off, you say, good gank, Ning, right now. LWX with Ignite, the Prowling Projectile, double kill. Tian's too late, and IG strike first, but with True Shot Barrage coming down, or rather Gangplank ulti, excuse me, that's a culling into the wall. Tian tries to find it, and does, but Ning on the other side trying to survive. He'll use the Void Rush, he'll take Tian down. Now he's on to Doinb, but it's a messy fight. One that Doinb is left standing on.
Finally, Doinb decides to roam after his bottom lane died, still manages to pick up the good portion of that fight and get the shove out once again towards IG. Even though Caitlyn's not there, her spirit lives on and the turret plating is falling.
He'll be able to get the bottom lane turret as well. I mean, that's down to one plate. Let's see if he can find it. So Doinb the main benefactor of that fight, but Tian coming down, giving 2 kills over to JackeyLove. That's going to balance out his lane so much.
And the even better interaction is we were checking in with his runes and we saw the Ravenous Hunter. Now he's going to be able to heal even more into Rookie, so those Qs not going to be hurting him.
But let's come back to the top lane, Preacher, because this is the lane that now I fear for FPX. That, of course, GimGoon will scale, but TheShy is so far ahead. He can dive with a level advantage, with a slice and dice. Great trades here, and GimGoon has to be fearing for his life because that is a 40 CS lead and a Gangplank that doesn't have his first item.
That's how you poke on Renekton as well, even under turret. You just use your body, go forward, and actually do more damage than the turret can to you. That's ridiculous. That's what happens when a Renekton gets a solo kill so early.
Still able to push up in this top lane. Now, Tian is nearby. That's the difference here. Ning walking up to the top side with the rest of IG, but TheShy's backing away anyway. It looks like we've got a lane swap on our hands. Actually, TheShy's sticking around. They're going to go the Rift Herald anyway.
And in the meantime, IG actually get priority on this. The solo ward on the brush over the wall actually enables them to do this. No forward wards have been placed by either of these two teams before this, so this is more or less unseen by FPX, and they don't actually want to play around it even if they knew.
No, playing around the side lanes here, the lane selection I love to see, because Doinb going bot, Gangplank sticking to the top side, but in terms of laning at the moment, I don't think the GP wants to be near the Renekton at all.
Yeah, but he has no choice. This is the natural way that you have to distribute your lanes before the turrets actually fall. The Renekton can't actually go for the turret plating this early without outright killing the Gangplank, so at least GimGoon has that with Tian obviously by his side. That's the one advantage they have. They just need to wait for Doinb to get his ultimate, and then GimGoon can actually be a playmaker, in all honesty.
GimGoon doesn't have the safety anymore from Tian. He's gone to the bottom side, and TheShy can dive this. He can with BF sword, with that sword.
Just get the turret.
He can hit it, do it. He's waiting, he's denying minions. He's trying to.
He knows that GimGoon's actually going to be doing a significant amount of damage right back to him. Look at that. I mean, yeah, that's what you get when you hit the turret, but...
TheShy may be at half health, but look, he has Dominus available.
He has Dominus, but he can't go for the solo kill, so at least GimGoon denies that. It was inevitable that his turret was going to fall because of the solo kill onto the Renekton. It was just a matter of time, and now we get to see where GimGoon can actually get some of this CS.
I'm going to wait for the wave to push back into him, then we'll find out, but level advantage for TheShy in the top lane. 40 CS is still there. He's just roaming across the map right now. They've got control in the river. They've got control towards his top side, and TheShy, did you walk over a ward? No, he cleared it, which is good to see.
That's really nice. And what's even nicer to see from FPX is that they're setting in place the 1-3-1 already. Doinb being forced down into the bottom lane with their core 3 in mid as well. This is a really nice distribution because, of course, LWX will always be able to clear these waves and put the pressure down onto JackeyLove, who is forced to go there in return.
Ooh, close call. Tian does pick up the red buff at the end of the day, but Ning moving towards the top side. Now we begin. Red Herald on an inner turret. FPX as a unit have to move up here, otherwise they lose more.
Yeah, and GimGoon can't just defend this by himself because it's 1v2.
Quick move here from IG. Rift Herald's there, but actually IG not contested. They pull GimGoon back, however, slowed him with the Prowling Projectile. TheShy slowed down, but here comes the Void Rush. The final chapter on top. I think they lose more, Preacher, as IG, their Lucian's in the mid lane, so they don't follow up. It's a Gangplank ulti used to defend the play.
Defend it, but couldn't defend his own life. GimGoon dies as well as his turret, so clear advantage once again going to IG, and you have to say, the win condition of FPX.
Who expects them here? Doinb caught out in his own base. This is the IG in peak form that surprised anyone.
It most certainly is. It is the lane dominance. Win lane, win game. They had the freedom to do so as well. There wasn't a lot of roams coming out from Doinb. Only one to really counter a gank, but that was picking up some kills rather than countering it.
It was one lane that seems to be setting them up to win this game. The top lane, TheShy playing to part of his limit. 2-level advantage, still top side, unrelenting. FPX will be able to pick up an Infernal, but that's not going to mitigate everything that IG are throwing at them.
Yeah, ignoring the weak side as well. Now, keep in mind, Rookie is off on the side and does have a weave as well, so he can be here to constantly force the mid lane turret. LWX can't even clear this safely without always expecting Rookie to come in.
But further to your previous point, let's look at the weak side of IG's map, and JackeyLove is not that far behind.
No.
I mean, half an item, sure, but still no second item here for LWX, which means JackeyLove can sit in the mid wave, absorb farm, and not much of a response. We come into a mid game where IG are powered up.
Yeah, and clearly the best way to win for FPX was actually to put as much as you could onto LWX, but didn't quite happen. Couldn't even get that bottom lane by himself.
But let's remember the transition here, right? FPX get into the mid-late game and you have a Ryze and a Gangplank, plus Sylas as well. IG get to that same point and the Taliyah will fall off.
There it is.
Rek'Sai, of course the Renekton. They need to push the limit now, which is why the Weaver's Wall came out, why we saw the mid lane go down. IG have a gold lead, but it needs to be more. We're heading towards 20 minutes, and this is where the tempo will shift even further up.
And they agree with you. They tried to pick up as much gold as they could, exchanging that ultimate for the turret as well. Now they've started to get to the point where they're ahead, but still, when you take a look at where FPX stand, Infernal Drake to their name, and no significant gold to the point where IG will be items ahead of FPX, yeah, it's a dangerous position because FPX is still 5v5.
And we're heading towards that second item where Doinb for once, it's no Righteous Glory Ryze. I don't know what happened, but he coined the build. If anyone out there has seen Righteous Glory Ryze, this is where it started. I guarantee you, you ask any professional, Doinb brought it in.
Because he doesn't want to run into them with this comp right now. He doesn't want to be the front line.
He wants to scale, right? Like, that's the conversation.
Funnily enough, FPX actually want IG to engage onto them. Take a look. Combined between the Lux and also the Ryze, the re-engage, the disengage and re-engage is so much stronger.
I mean, Preacher, I'll disagree, because if IG run into FPX right now, they will obliterate them. That's a 2-item Lucian in the making, towards the Essence Reaver most likely. 2-item Taliyah, Renekton with Spear of Shojin. IG are hitting their points, and Doinb may be strong, but Will he be strong enough for the rest of the team? FPX just trying to mitigate some of their losses so they can start hitting some of those spikes themselves.
In the sense that IG are ahead, yeah, I'll give you that one. But the whole point is that there is no very strong engage for FPX. I mean, we saw that Crisp actually had to flash forward and use his Q point blank just to get some CC down onto their enemies in bottom lane. So that is naturally the way that they want to play. Bot lane already being abandoned because of this hard rotate.
Look at this Crocodile. He's 70 CS up. TheShy. Give me another highlight reel to scream about.
It's not so much the kills, but you can see the punishment right now. The distribution is very clear. He can get this turret by himself, no plating.
Dangerous play here from FPX. A flash forward from Doinb. That's the engage. They want to take it anyway. They've found the pick off of Tian. Gets burned down, and LWX will find the Taliyah while Renekton down the bottom side. And it's FPX now getting locked down by the final chapter as the LWX is hitting 1-2. The Caitlyn goes, and JackeyLove almost pays for it. A trade-off kill here as GimGoon starts whacking away at the turret, and TheShy doing the same to the bottom line.
It's the exact same, but in reverse. GimGoon gets outer, but TheShy is already pushing towards inner. Doinb is forced to come down here after all is said and done, and that was a pick-off by FPX. That is the power of what happens when IG run in, but they don't have all of their members to follow up.
And the power off the back of the two-item Caitlyn. So in some regard, LWX right where he wants to be is Doinb makes the move. TheShy was bottom lane, and they thought, yeah, Cannon Barrage will make this better.
Yeah, flashing in straight away to lock him down. Rookie couldn't get out fast enough, and even the ulti from LWX didn't even need to be anywhere dangerous for him to pick up that kill. Everything else said, he's the solo person who's keeping JackeyLove away from killing everybody else in his team.
And I apologize for saying that was a trade. That was a flat-out FPX big pick. So in the end, Taliyah going down, Rookie getting pummeled by LWX. This for FPX is a great time to be alive.
Keep in mind that that was also Rookie's flash, so he won't have that come the next engagement. One thing that he will have is the Weaver's Wall, so he'll always be able to move faster than Doinb at the very least until both of those cooldowns match.
But we haven't seen, we've seen only one Realm Warp, I should say. We haven't seen some big Realm Warps just yet. Low cooldown on that for Doinb. He doesn't have his flash either as IG over the Baron wall. This seems like a game where IG hit those two items and they say, let's challenge at the Baron buff.
Could potentially be. TheShy is very strong, so he can play intercept on the wall over there, but they need to set all of this up, and TheShy not being in the side lane, you can already see that he's moving up. That's what's at the forefront of the mind. GimGoon has his ultimate on cooldown, but he does have teleport. Yeah, so he could potentially join this. Still a weak Gangplank, though.
Really wants to sit in the side lane. Ulti's all he's doing at the moment, trying to pick up some of the CS, you're right. Weak as all hell. Sterix Gage coming second, and FPX now around the Baron, making sure it's not getting done by IG because they have pressure towards the top side. And
this is great to watch because Ning is using the passive on Rek'Sai to constantly seek out where FPX is. He knows where he can go forward and actually deny some vision across from them. So compared between him and Baolan, this is a force to be reckoned with. They can't get any vision down except for Skry's. Able
to walk forward, and with Rookie on the top side clearing out the wave, the Weaver's Wall back up and available. This means that IG are set up nicely now. Look at FPX. Pings are going down. Try to move into this top side brush. IG are not letting them. They've got so much vision control, and FPX, this is when you start getting worried, when the scrying orb from Caitlyn is down.
And lack of knowledge does a very terrible thing for your team because you need to start putting down wards, but it's the wards that you need for security to put them down in the first place. So right now, they even need to use the Lux ulti just to check the Baron.
FPX are like, when's this Baron being done? And IG are exhausting them. The only thing that might keep them happy is seeing JackeyLove on the ward, but he's headed towards Baron. And FPX are like, we have to walk forward.
It makes you a crazy person when you have no idea what's going on. And Ning with the passive, even then, just to constantly bait everybody. Take a look at what he's doing to the team.
Even GP has to move over here. And GimGoon sitting in the mid, looking for whatever he can find. And Cannon Barrage, you get to that point where you're like, do I have to ult the Baron just to see it from the Gangplank?
If they do, then that's going to be the key entry for IG because the Cannon Barrage down will be a very good ultimate wasted.
Well, that's the Weaver's Wall. They finally make the move. The Seismic Shove onto Chris. He cornered out. Great pick, but the Cannon Barrage locks on down. The Yuumi almost dies as Rookie almost burns himself. This FPX is great because Ning could get out of there now. I was saying it was great because they got some low health bars to play with. And FPX actually managed to get out after losing Crisp.
Yeah, they lose Crisp. So IG once again with the picks. It's a slow but steady play coming out from their team. So 23 minutes in, 1 kill every about 3 minutes because of all of their abilities. They can just rinse and repeat, get health back, and once again deny away the vision.
Close to being a trade. Doinb going to pick up the Ocean. And this will just reset it for another while we take a look back at how Chris got cornered in the Weaver's Wall.
Yeah, so the Weaver's Wall cuts him out from actually running away, and even the bomb, he dodges the bomb, but he dodges forward, so inevitably going to be taken down by everybody on IG. Rookie very low, but nobody can actually engage because their focus is split. They see Ning over on the top side, and everybody gets out from IG.
I like the idea that Chris was trying to hide in the pocket of vision outside of the brush, but it wasn't meant to be. A 1-for-0 trade for IG, and threatening around the Baron. They can keep doing this. The vision lacking here from FPX, and IG have all the tools to do this for the next 5 minutes.
That was just annoying to hear, by the way. Chris was spamming his laugh right now. I don't know why you're doing that. You just died solo. And look, it's not completely his fault because he needs to get some wards down with everybody else on his team to always help him. But given the fact that there's no front line for FPX, nobody is willing to be the first person to run in.
He's laughing because he knows what happens in the next 20 minutes or so, and how IG become this irrelevant force that the Ryze and the Gangplank will eventually catch up to. IG right now looking for the pick they need to. And FPX have no Baron vision, but Tian up towards the top side. That'll keep him safe. IG now planning to go to the mid lane or just find an avenue onto Crisp again.
That is one of the points that we need to watch out for. Of course, Caitlyn gets better with time. Obviously, a good early and late game champion. Only the mid game where she falls. And GimGoon, as late as he possibly can. So watching out for IG. Sure, they're getting these picks, of course, but it's just way too slow because they got Crisp, but that was a few minutes ago. And they haven't done anything since, and they're not denying away vision, but it's just not fast enough.
You speak of slow, TheShy down the bottom lane, the Renekton has slowed down against GP. Steric's Gauge now picked up as well, so even harder to dive him as IG. Speaking of diving into enemy territory, they're going for it. That's the final chapter. The Gangplank ultimate use as well. I can see the chopper above. Crisp, or Tian, excuse me, almost dies on the back end, but IG now, they get the jungle low. They want to start Baron.
As good of a time as any. They wanted to focus down Tian, didn't quite kill him, but now he has to go back to base. This is free from smite for the next few seconds.
I mean, it's going down pretty quickly without a Mountain Dragon to the name. IG are pulling off here. They're playing it safe, and the game goes on.
Yeah, but the longer the game goes, we keep on harping on about it, the better FPX's top and bot is going to be, not even to mention Doinb with all of these playmaking skills behind him. So the fact that FPX have managed to hold on relatively well for all of this time can only work in their favor as IG are frantically scrambling to use what lead they have.
I mean, this is back timing that IG have taken, and FPX hit the window hard and pick up the mid lane turret. That's going to bridge somewhat of the gap. Not really a gold lead here from Invictus Gaming. I'm expecting the next fight to be that Infernal or a trade across the board.
That's tough. And when we take a look at the two solo laners, it's really going to be TheShy versus Doinb. Take a look at the gold differential between their respective laners. It is nearly a Flame Horizon for the Renekton, but it is also an 80 CS lead for Doinb on the Ryze. So both of those two representing their teams.
I thought we'd be talking just purely about the Caitlyn CS difference, but it's not that much. You're right. It's 80 the mid and top lane. We're almost towards that point. So BF Sword picked up. TheShy got so many more elements to play around with. Almost level 16 for his top tier Dominus. He's towards the bottom side. He's trying to get an angle on this mid lane.
And clearly when you take a look at the ultimates, everything is available. So there is the option for engage, but they know that they can't. Here's the Realm Warp.
Realm Warp to try and force out a play. They're moving to the mid lane. Tian and Doinb get behind the wave. TheShy pops Dominus, but they get the chain effect. There's Ace in the hole onto Rookie. They flash him with the Weaver's Wall, cuts them off. Tian almost dies. Igniting down. Golden goes Ning as well in the middle. They will find one. Tian drops down as GimGoon gets the hell out of there, but LWX, he's got 3 items. Don't mess with the Caitlyn.
Yeah, and that is the bad thing about using your Zhonya's in the middle against a Caitlyn composition. She can always put down a trap and you're pretty much sentenced to death. So great response from FPX, and it's a jungle for jungle.
Yeah, that's right, but you know what? There's a lot of damage on this Caitlyn. The 80 carry. Right now, I'd favor her all the way. FPX are heading there to finally get some vision back and maybe threaten the Baron.
Well, at least it's not going to be a smite fight because neither of them are up and available, but they just want to get vision down. That is their priority. For the longest time, don't forget, FPX have been fighting just to get vision in their own topside jungle, just so they can push towards the Baron. So the fact that they can get eyes on it, they are very happy with that outcome.
We'll have a look again, Preacher, because the fight you're talking about started with Doinb and Tian taking a risky Realm War.
Yeah, however, this wasn't actually it because they could have just walked there. It is TheShy going in, getting locked down, but being the focus for the rest of his team while IG just bust everybody down. It is just Ning channeling his inner Messiah going in and then immediately Zhonya's in, but against the Caitlyn doesn't quite work out.
You're exactly right. That trap, the headshot, half his health gone.
Standard counterplay.
Yeah.
Outplayed.
LWX, Chris, a lot of lockdown between the two. They utilize it well. And remember, look top left. There's an elemental coming up, and it's a big one. It's a double infernal chance here for FPX, but IG can play around this. Maybe they can threaten the Baron again.
And the fact that mentally there's less of a blocker to go for the Infernal Drake means that this could be a fighting place for them.
Could be hard though. FPX actually getting caught out as Chris flashes over the wall. The final trap to use. Tian gets it in the end. It's actually Doinb who secures it, but now the Sylas caught out. Goes golden cannon rush into the middle. Rookie's there as well, trying to get to the back line. As Tian gets ulted on. Ning jumps in. Look at the helicopter camera. We can't keep up, but FPX have cornered out TheShy. GA is going to be popped while the rest of FPX look for the chase. Taliyah dies to Doinb, and FPX are team fighting kings.
Diving way too deep for IG, and eventually FPX's collapse is so strong. This isn't over, Hysterics. They've still got their jungler. They're going towards the Baron.
Only going to get better here from FPX. There we go, ace in the hole for JackeyLove. Take that, as he's left up with the cat, and FPX are left up to take the Baron.
Can't even trade any turrets for it to his effort, so all he can do is pick up CS. But yeah, a Baron after a really great play from FPX. They played it so slow, and they actually allowed IG to run completely into their backline. Even LWX going all the way back with his net as well. His priority wasn't doing damage, it was surviving, and he baited everyone.
I mean, FPX deserve a beer after that. That's a 4K difference.
Woo.
I'm not sure exactly what we're looking at, but I'll tell you, that's probably going to be the goal difference after this Baron, at the very least, at 30 minutes. As IG found Crisp, and he looked pretty good.
That is the fight to start it off. Lucian with no ultimate, but half health Lux as well. Doinb has to stay there for the last hit, and you got to keep your eyes onto Tian right now. Even though he flashes back, he is not quite taken out. Collapsing back onto Ning because he is divided and conquered. No damage coming out from IG, and they just get taken down.
Kingslayer from Tian alongside Conqueror was amazing.
Yeah.
He survived when he shouldn't. And this is the problem with Sylas. So much sustain when he gets to low health. FPX play it well, and once again, this is not looking good for IG, but this time, this split, it's game one where FPX are taking control.
Yeah, this is it as well. LWX so strong on the Caitlyn once you get the Baron buff, because it is just such strong pushing and sieging as well. Not to mention the fact that Chris can always zone people out. I think that IG need to give up whatever FPX want.
Well, they want everything, Preacher, so they can't give it all up. Doinb sit in the side lane, 4 members mid, while Tian, will sit in between them. Rookie here to match, but that's an inner turret down, and it begins.
And always keep in mind, no, here's the Weaver's Wall.
Yeah, the Weaver's Wall from Tian. Runs back over. Thank you for the abscond abduct.
Yep. Block people off from going to mid, though. He drew all of the attention, and he bought that time. Pretty much what I was trying to say is the fact that Rookie is the primary wave clear, but he doesn't do anything into...
So it feels like it comes down to a flank or a pick here for IG. They almost find Tian. He walks away. And Rookie getting slowed down with the side of JackeyLove. There are some flank wards there for IG, but they're going to have to find it after this inhibitor goes down.
Yeah, obviously they give it up. If you don't fight with your turret, there's no point fighting without it. They give that one. Top lane looks like it's going to be taken for free as well. 2 inhibitors for FPX.
I saw a 1600 crit there from LWX. Seismic Shove comes out. Cannon Barrage as well. FPX set the barrel chain up. Even the Gangplank is starting to hurt. That's a double inhibitor off the Baron play, and FPX take it all, give nothing back.
Yeah, and they don't even want to go back. They want this.
TheShy caught down with a binding that lights them up. Doinb destroys him. He then runs forward onto Rookie. You said Ryze was nerfed, but this is the result. First Nexus turret to go down. Doinb heals up, ace in the hole. Rookie flashes away, while the rest of FPX play it to the right. Tian jumps in. JackeyLove caught out. Doinb hits them again and again, and we just go to Baolan, who has no hope. FPX slam down Invictus Gaming in game 1.
Such great teamwork from FPX, even though IG was winning because they want to play towards their individual lanes. As soon as those turrets fell and everybody was grouping up, especially in the mid lane, you could see the teamfight prowess from FPX, fighting them over and over. And sure, some of those fights were scrappy, and one of them, Crisp, was lost. However, that last one that instigated the Baron, that was so beautiful to watch.
Oh my god, it was. Like, FPX, the style of this team, even when it's not Doinb going over and over towards the bottom lane, it eventually became, okay, well, we can match IG, and match them is what they did.
Yeah, freeze frame right there. That is the moment that his heart breaks into a million pieces because, of course, as soon as Tian gets aggressed on by Ning, just walks backwards. Everybody else collapses onto Ning, and yeah, I mean, I was saying it as a bit of a joke, but he is really channeling his MLXG. He wins or loses the game on his shoulder.
Well, I want to talk about the top lane first, though, because GimGoon was put constantly into a bad position. It was the almost flame horizon from TheShy, but the Renekton never started any of these fights. We never saw the flank or the engage coming out of IG. It's like they got to a point where they said, okay, we're going to attempt a fight, question mark. How's it going to look? And FPX just won it whole handle in. Props to Doinb, who was the initiator and caught them by surprise.
Yeah, of course. There was very good avenues for IG to actually take that game for themselves. Of course, after that solo kill onto the Renekton, you say TheShy, all you need to do is teleport into the bottom lane. You can dive that turret because LWX can't actually do enough damage to kill you while everybody else is barreling down onto him. But instead, they didn't decide to rotate him for the longest time. He actually wanted to take the 1v1 into GimGoon, which, look, he won, but he didn't get any kills beyond that.
I mean, technically, he could win at all time, but GimGoon played it very safe. It's Hysteric's Gauge that comes second. That was such an important item to negate that, give him the extra health and a bit of damage to poke back. So props to GimGoon for surviving that lane. For Invictus Gaming, this is what I said. How are they looking? What are they looking like? Well, the early game, they look great. Yeah. But then the bridge, that mid-game, FPX were not giving them any opportunities, bar crisp.
Yeah, and we can't really judge them for that because, of course, it's IG win lane, win game, and they certainly won lane, but they didn't exploit it. They didn't exploit the fact that their lanes were winning and getting some extra kills before they took down the turrets, and a little bit gung-ho meant that FPX could play towards the
style. But you know what? That win lane, win game style, that was towards the top side. Mid didn't win. Bottom didn't win. Doinb was in a very good position, 80 CS up by about 20-something minutes. And then the bottom lane for LWX and Chris was so darn good. The Caitlyn Lux, you gotta stop giving it over to FPX.
Yeah, it looks really deadly. And look, in the mid game, when Caitlyn was rotated into mid lane, I was like, great, this is a good time for IG to fight. Still, it's not the best time, but it's still a really good time because Caitlyn, this is her power trough. But about 10 minutes of just stalling and no fighting, and then Caitlyn's relevant again.
And then you're like, bam, she's done. Well, that was a great game one of bam, she's done. That's a...
You coined it. It's your new show. It's your new...
I was thinking about that. I was like, what did I just say? Game one's done. I was excited to see FPX in form. IG need to catch back up in game two right after this.
剑魔一直能够在单带的
博德博瑞兹开车过来想抓下路的剑魔，
剑魔这边感觉要开大面回捅了。
剑魔有水银鞋啊，你两个法师打一个剑魔，怎么打得过呀？直接反手追击了呀！一个 QQ 空了，不过
魔域非常重，
最后一下封山击也没打到，不过触发了大招，接着追这个凯南，凯南开一个秒表。哎呦，还好有个闪现，可以跑一下。
马哥交闪庆祝了一下闪现 Q， 有法力护盾，这一个 R 没有
差一点点，差一点点。
速龙的获取让 RNG 这边非常舒服。龙洛想过来开，又是EZ，EZ 这里啊，牛头行走，让Yuumi大招还是进入了，Yuumi及时的下车，小明这一波操作非常的漂亮，而正面的 Mako 这里没有闪现，也要被点燃，战场最优至死。看看吧，这个龙团如果硬打的话 ，RNG 是可以接的呀。这边浮华宝珠都做出来了。是，而且刀妹3上有了。看一下怎么去选。F2的位置很靠前，被猪头怼了一下，大招直接踢住。F2被秒了。F2这是什么意思？但是 Scout 很有次要的上来，直接刷新自己的被动，而且正面上来，队友死光了呀 ！Scout 就一套呀，而且这一波被打出了大面。哇！这个时候3比下来强行打了。是啊，哦有3杀4杀的希维尔。 先放了个 Q， 就告诉你我要来反。哎，这波偷到了筒子大招，哎呦，陆军离开千里之外呀，而且反倒 Scout 的位置有点危险，一技能打到，但是这一波可以反打，中路的闪电拉开的距离，自己这边大招被炸了回来，没有刷新自己的被动大招，而且 Gino 也倒了，而且杰杰一技能撞墙了，想反手换卡萨，但卡萨有一个一技能加秒表。 真的，就这个球选出来就感觉后期啊，他吼个大招，哎呦，直接大招上了，
闪狙到了，
这样的话上的是没有闪现的，这一闪打到的是这一波，他咋又被秒了？
哇，这一波虚弱掏的好呀 ！Scout 8刷新了自己的复活，这边狼行冲了进来，但姐姐已经被秒掉了。但是小虎
到这里马上要被打出自己的复活了，复活过后只能在地上，小虎被秒了。
小虎打掉 Gino 进来，这边两边大哥会互换，但正面的话又是晕了一下 UZI，
还有一个大哥呀，这边还有个 UZI 在帮挡。
UZI 接管了比赛啊。